Second Life is about interactions. It's not about going off like World of Warcraft or something on your own quest and whatnot. It's very much an interactive tool.
Most of the time, like the shy people like me, we don't really talk. We just sit there and listen. But in Second Life, I could just talk and say whatever I wanted.
Students communicated through text chatting, and this provided many advantages in the classroom.
You have a huge sidebar which holds your whole local conversation and chats, so you can always scroll back up if something you missed.
It's a way to kind of respond to everything somebody's saying, get everybody's feelings and inputs on it without interrupting the person that's saying it.
In real time, you can see these questions and you can discuss them directly, whereas like if I was like, hey, I have no idea what he's saying right here, I'm going to ask a question, but I would have to ask him after lecture.
It brings the entire class into one conversation, whereas in a large lecture environment, you wouldn't be able to talk to a friend all the way across the room.
Students found that we're no longer limited to the confines of the classroom.
The only difference is just physical. Some people would be in their classrooms, some people would be in the lab here at school, and some people would be in their bedrooms, laying in bed on their laptops. You don't have to all be in one area to have the class. We sat around in a circle pods that Joe created. We sat down and literally had class right there, and everybody could talk and type.
Since we're talking via IM, we can't really goof off. You can't just randomly write stuff. You know, you have to say something of some substance at least. And when you come to class physically, the teacher tells you to get in a group and you're just talking about, oh, this weekend I did this, this, and this. And on Second Life, you don't really have room to do that because everyone can see your text, and it's kind of more like you know that you're focused on this particular thing.
One of the ladies that took us on the Dublin tour, she could literally put us all in a classroom and slide us around anywhere she wanted, giving a lecture, talking to us about the city of Dublin, how it was built, and how everybody got to collaborate on it. And I really feel like that the classroom is just kind of anywhere you want to make it. We logged most of our time in our class on Second Life, and we experienced things on Second Life together, such as the builds, and we all had the same activities. In real life, it's just kind of, I don't know, when we sat down, it just kind of felt like a classroom, and you know, usually when I'm in a classroom, honestly, I just kind of listen to what the teacher says and don't really interact that much. So I felt like the interaction is much more detailed and much more flowing in Second Life.
I'm the type of person that doesn't ask questions in class. Like I'm very shy when it comes to raising my hand and asking class, but as in Second Life in your class, I felt like I could kind of joke around, ask some questions, and feel a lot more comfortable. I feel like I've asked more questions in Second Life than I actually have my whole college career.
The relationships you form with people online are sometimes deeper than the ones you do in person because you can't say everything openly in person as you can online. Me and Ronnie, we'd be talking on IM, and then she'd be like, oh, let me just teleport over to where you are. And when I saw her physically there, it was like a totally different connection. Like, I don't know how to explain that connection, but when you see something physically there representing whoever's behind it, you know, moving around, it's just like you feel closer to that person. And so I don't think I would have gotten as close to Ronnie if it had just been through email.
Students discovered that their activities in this virtual world created real connections between each other, the community, and their world.
We had the class, but then everybody that made their different events and stuff, we expanded outside of the classroom through all the contacts we made through Second Life. We joined different groups, made several friends and contacts in those groups, and those are actual real relationships.
It felt like there was a sense of intimacy, you know, like I feel like I can go talk to Benton now. Now that our avatars have met, it just feels like much more personal connection, which is pretty cool.